Tom, a week to forget for the Royals.
Well, it's not been a good week, a very bad week for them. On the other hand, they've had even worse weeks. But a great challenge to William and Kate. Undoubtedly, the Netflix documentary is going to cause enormous problems for the royal family, and that's just the beginning before the autobiography by Harry. So a great challenge, and King Charles has got a lot on his plate.
Yes, I'll be tackling the issue of the Netflix documentary in my Take at 10 monologue at 10 o'clock. And it's my view that it's game over for Harry and his family, that they've reached now the point of no return. Would you share that view, Tom?
Do you mean that Harry and Meghan have reached the point of no return?
I think that Harry and Meghan, I think that the situation with Harry and his own family, the royal family, is irrevocably broken. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I think reconciliation is just forgotten. And on the other hand, I do think the Sussexes are climbing ever further in America. I think they're gaining support. I think that the Spotify podcasts gave Meghan a new constituency. They all like her Californian psychobabble. And I think the Netflix series will attract even more support for them, because they will have 6 hours of uninterrupted propaganda about how awfully they've been treated in Britain. And I think that the royal family here and Charles needs to very, very seriously consider how to not only rebut the Sussexes, but actually expel them from the royal family to be able to restore international appreciation of the royal family and their status in Britain.
Tom, can King Charles go beyond stripping the couple of their royal titles of the Sussex title? Can he do more than that?
Oh, I think so. I think he can tell them that they're both most unwelcome in Britain and that Harry should consider himself a permanent outcast until he apologises. I think they should pack everything they've got. The Sussexes having Frogmore, send it off to California and confiscate the house and tell them that not to come here again.
However, what might the PR aspect of that be? Would that not be damaging to the reputation of the king himself? Might it not look heartless or churlish?
On the contrary, I think he's got to put together a very reasonable package in a television address or interview, explaining how Meghan was welcomed to Britain, how everyone cheered the marriage on, and how they misunderstood what her agenda was, and just very carefully destroy her reputation as some sort of victim. Otherwise, I think they will be permanently damaged. But I think the old maxim, don't complain and never explain, is redundant when it comes to the Meghan Markle, because she's a very imaginative and very dramatic and very purposeful campaigner for herself. And I don't think that the royal family, especially King Charles, can sit back and allow Meghan Markle to dictate the agenda. Clearly, Harry is just her aide, her satrap in all this. But we're in a very, very serious situation now. 6 hours of Netflix, a book which has been translated into 15 languages. The British royal family is not the royal family only, it's Britain's reputation which is at risk. And I don't think silence is any more an option.
No, and I suppose the softly approach by the royal family in relation to Harry and Meghan hasn't worked. Appeasement has failed, Tom.
Absolutely. I think that reconciliation has failed. I think when they came over for the funeral, they could have easily have apologized to Kate and William. They could have reached out and sought one way or another to put the past behind them. But they did the opposite. They went off in a huff back to California, looking forward to the Netflix series and the book. And their fortunes, I mean, their income and their luxurious lifestyle depends on trashing the royal family. And I think the only way for the royal family to react is to deny them those privileges of the titles and the rest, and to tell the world in truth what has happened. Harry has behaved appallingly. William has suffered too much. King Charles has been this sad father, terribly betrayed by his son. And it's about time that their point of view is put across, because the Americans are lapping it all up, in my view. And Meghan is getting a free run, and that has to end.
Indeed. Certainly some of the remarks she's made would support the idea that the royal family is riven with racism, which is surely wide of the mark. You know, of course, the character of Charles and the character of William. They feature as key characters in your latest book on Meghan. On a personal level, how will Charles and William feel about Harry's betrayal? I mean, you used the word sadness, but anger too, I would have thought.
Absolutely. I mean, to be betrayed by a brother, betrayed by a son, is shocking. And in the end, King Charles has to really consider not just his own position and his own sadness. He's tried, I'm sure, very hard, as has Camilla. But, you know, Harry is the tool of Meghan. And Meghan has absolutely no sympathy for Britain. She came here simply to promote her own career and get celebrity status, having failed really to establish herself in Hollywood. And she's got it. She is now being feted. She is now getting all sorts of awards from Kennedy, from all sorts of organizations. And she would never have had that had the royal family not welcomed her in and Harry not married her. And that's very, very depressing that we've been used. We're all used in this. And it's about time that her bubble was pricked and the truth was told.
Harry is a tool. You took the words right out of my mouth, Tom Bauer. How far can Meghan Markle go in her quest for global domination?
Well, I don't think domination. No one has domination, Mark, not even you. But I think that her ambition is limitless. And nothing wrong with that. She's an intelligent, resourceful woman. I think the point is the victims on the way have a right to fight back. I think her ambition clearly is politics. I think that she has a chance to get some sort of nomination, either as a congressman or a senator in California. I think she'll find it very hard to be a politician because I don't think she likes criticism. She doesn't like the rub of the opposition, but I think she'll try. My view is that she has the absolute right to spread her view of wellness and love and all the rest. But she's an unforgiving person. She is a very, very, in my view, malicious person in the way she's treated her father and how she's encouraged Harry to treat his family. And, you know, in the end, she needs to be challenged. Now, I've challenged her in my book. The Netflix series clearly won't challenge her, nor will Harry's book. She always seems to be able to find interviewers from magazines and TV programs who absolutely suck up to her. One just wishes there was once an interviewer who would give her a bit of a hard time, a taste of her own medicine.
Last but not least, all of your books, whether it's on Jeremy Corbyn, Tony Blair, Richard Branson, they're always a page-turner and a must-read, as is the latest on Meghan Markle, which is called Revenge, highly recommended. Your book on Boris Johnson is called The Gambler, and we understand that Boris Johnson will fight the next election and seek to stay in Parliament. An interesting turn of events there, Tom. Is he leaving a foot in the door to get back into number 10?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I thought he made a mistake trying to run for leadership so soon after he was turfed out when Liz Truss was kicked out. But I do think that if the Tories lose in 24 and find it hard to find a leader to rebuild the party, and if he plays his cards properly and does seem to try to reassert some sort of decency And one of the elements must be, I think, that he cannot continue his relationship with Carrie, who I think is the worst thing that's happened to him ever and really undermined his premiership. I do think he has a chance. He is a man with great vision and great energy. It all went wrong, sadly, for him from his point of view as Prime Minister. He gave his enemies and critics all the fuel they needed to show that they were right, that he was unsuitable to be Prime Minister. But I always think that he was a good mayor and he had a good chance, having won that huge majority just in 2019. So, of course, he'll want to come back. It's just whether he just sees the errors of his ways and can correct those errors and rebuild trust. And I think that's going to be a huge challenge for him. But, you know, he's got the time to do it. He's a young man still. And his supporters will hope that he does succeed.